I'm really proud of the effort today. I thought, we started off slow, but we fought. We really competed. I really liked the way that, we came together after being down early. Now we just got to take that next step. We just got to be able to finish some of these off, and that'll be something that we'll spend more time on practice, working on end game situations. And it's we played a great team. We just found a way to steal this one from us.
Coach, despite the loss, JC was very explosive today. She seemed a lot more confident. Could you just talk about her game tonight?
Well, I thought she played great. I mean, she was able to attack the basket some defensively. She made plays and had impact. She had a couple plays that led to runouts and layups. I definitely think it was her best game back so far, so that's another encouraging thing about the game.
Coach, tonight a lot of I guess some of the matchup was Nas Hillman on Collier. Can you talk about how well she played in that matchup?
Well, I thought she made it difficult. Fee's just a tremendous player. She makes some tough shots, but I thought Bree did an outstanding job on her. I thought Nas did a really good job. We made it difficult. I don't know what she finished with. It was probably 25 or
26.
But we made her earn most of them. She's just really good.
Thanks.
And that's kind of an understatement.
Coach, there was a literal power surge that seemed to have Atlanta surging as well. What changed after that moment, or I guess what did you guys talk about in the huddle after the switch seemed to kind of flip?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know what we said in that huddle. We were just kind of wondering if the game was going to be continuing, because they said they weren't sure that the legs, and the officials were saying that we might not be able to continue if it isn't going to be a safe environment for the players. Fortunately, the light situation got fixed, but I just thought we start playing better. Energy picked up. All of a sudden, we got some deflections, and we got out in conversion after some defensive plays. And from that point on, I thought we played great for the majority of the game.
With so many points in the paint, what were you able to do against the Lynx that made that such an advantage for you all tonight?
Well, we wanted to definitely look inside, and we hadn't been getting our posts as involved as we wanted to, and we wanted to make sure that they were being included. So we went to BG early. She had a really good game. Bree was really physical, getting offensive rebounds, getting a second chance points. So they did a great job on both ends for us. It's something that we're going to hope to continue. We want to. We have explosive guards, but we also have great bigs, and we got to make sure that we're keeping everybody involved.
Coach, you talked a lot. You talked a little bit about the late game execution earlier. Just what are some things that you were looking to see when it comes to late game execution for the team?
Well, I think there's like a kind of a human nature element that when you get the lead, you're trying to protect it rather than really. We were playing hard. We were playing at great pace. We were really hard to guard. This is a great defensive team, and we were getting good shots. But as soon as you start to slow down and you're thinking you're going to protect something, I think you're really giving an advantage to the defense. You really have to just kind of have that mentality that you're not going to slow down. Your cuts are going to be just as hard. In fact, they need to be harder because they're locked in to try and make it so that you can't run your sets the way you want to. So, it's kind of a battle of wills there. And I think sometimes, if you're down by 5, all of a sudden you'd be cutting really hard with the urgency to try to win the game and get back to win the game. And then when you're up by 5, it's like, all right, let's make sure that we have everything under control. And I just think that's the wrong thing to do. But it's really a human nature thing. So it's just going to be something that we're going to have to work on, and just, hey, this last 2 minutes of the game, let's work on our pace here. Let's see what kind of shot we can get when our guys are going against us and they're saying they're not going to give us one. Can we still get a good shot? We don't have everything in yet that we want to get in. I know there's not a lot of practice time in this league. But I do think that we've gotten a lot better over the course of the season, and we still have a lot of room to grow, which, it's disappointing today because we didn't finish it off, but it's really exciting to know what is possible with this team. And I think everybody here kind of sees the growth in the team. We just want to see like another step or two. And, I think we'll get there.
Coach, at the end of the fourth quarter, Ryan Howard had the ball in that final position. She has the ball in that final position. What was the actual play in terms of ending the quarter?
Yeah, it was ride the ball, give her some space, and then we were gonna, do some things once she got by the defender. But give them credit; they played great defense, and we got the play started a little late, which kind of put us under a little bit of pressure. But she was doing a great job, just really attacking and getting downhill, and they were going to have to decide where they were going to help. We kind of thought we knew where they were going to help, and we were going to try and take advantage of it. But sometimes the defense was just a little bit better than the offense, and that was one of those times.
Quick follow-up. You kind of alluded to this already, but come up short in this game, but against another elite team. You played New York previously, you played Minnesota today, now you have New York again. What does this say about your team in terms of its growth and where you guys are headed?
Well, I mean, we're pretty motivated to be at the top of this league. Like, right now we're not quite there, but this is a new system. It's a lot of new players. They're still working it out, and sometimes the last thing to come together is kind of these end game situations where you have so much trust in your teammates and you know them so well. You know what to, and I think Minnesota showed that tonight at the end. They knew where they wanted to get the ball. They knew the favorite spots of everybody, and give them credit for making the plays down the stretch. I mean, they're an exceptionally well coached team and extraordinarily talented team, and for us to be right there, it's just a little disappointing that we didn't send everybody home happy tonight.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about the turnovers. Both teams had 16 turnovers, but they were able to capitalize and score 22 points versus 12 for you guys. Just what was the difference, do you think, in that? Was it transition, defense, or what do you think?
No, I think they're always a team that forces a lot of turnovers because they're going to pressure and they're going to try and blow things up. And I thought it bothered us for maybe like the little over the first quarter. We had several turnovers in the first quarter. A lot of those led to runouts. That's kind of how they got the big lead on us. But I thought we kind of adjusted to it, and we started, we didn't have that many turnovers after like the first 12, 13 minutes of, we did a pretty good job protecting the ball. We did a pretty good job creating good shots. I mean, for us to, if you think about it, like we lose in overtime and we shot 4-22 from 3. Like, man, you have to really do a lot of other things really, really well. If you're playing the best team in the league, you're 4-22 from 3, and you're still in a position where you have a chance to win the game at the end. But these, I guess they call them growing pains for a reason, because I can feel it right now.
Coach, what does the next 24 hours looks like? I mean, obviously, you fought to the nail overtime game with one of the best teams in the league, and now turning around, playing the Liberty on Sunday. You talked about kind of the practice times not being as long as you'd like, but what does Saturday to 24 hours look like?
Yeah, tomorrow can't be the day we work this all out. Like, obviously, and New York has a game tonight too, so and has to travel. I think both teams will probably be just doing like a walkthrough and trying to get prepared for the next game. But the level that our players competed at tonight, they're going to need some recovery, and hopefully they're getting everything they need in terms of fluids and hydration and good night's sleep, because we also know New York is, we're talking about the best 2 teams in the league, and that's where we're aspiring to get. And I have a lot of confidence that we're going to get there. You know, the thing that without a lot of practice time, we're like 40% through the season. Like every hour that we have where we can go, we actually have to use it to get better, so that, you know, whatever ground there is to catch up, we can do that before any postseason possibilities.
We're good?